Hey everyone, Reptile Sam here. Today I want to talk to you about winter temperatures and summer temperatures for your non-breeding reptiles. Now I say non-breeding because I know there is tons of information out there about brumating your reptiles, keeping them at certain temperatures throughout the year so that they'll have lower temperatures and then come out of it and be ready to breed in the late winter and early spring, even into summer for certain species. So I just want to talk to you about non-breeding reptiles and how to take care of your pet reptiles and how their temperatures can be. This is actually going to be a very simple video. So with all my snakes, I'm really happy with my placement of my rack system because it's right next to an exterior wall and window of my house. So even though my thermostat on the heat cable is set at 100 degrees, it only really gets that hot in the summertime. Now, it does get that hot at the very bottom of the tubs. However, it's generally less hot. Why? Because of the outside wall and the window right here. Especially if you live in a house that doesn't have perfect insulation, this will really help your reptiles. So mine don't brumate, and they're active all year round. As you can see, Tom is very active, going in my shirt right now. But they're active all year round, and you don't have to worry about your snakes really having any trouble with the weather. So if you're next to an exterior wall and window, you can be assured that you won't have any problems getting your reptiles to the temperatures that they need, because they won't have to have a full-on brumation as if you were breeding the reptile. So Tom decided to come back out of my shirt after going all the way into my shirt, so I'm going to hold him here for a second while he comes out. But it may be a little bit different with your lizards. So I don't really notice much difference in how my snakes act from summer to winter, as they have their, same temperature all year round essentially, but with the only caveat being they're next to the exterior wall and exterior window. And since it doesn't get too cold where I live, I don't really have to worry about them getting too cold either, especially with the heat cable. And in the summertime, they're fine. They're very happy. They're very active. It's warm. They enjoy themselves. Their tubs have good humidity levels. So the snakes are fine as long as you're not breeding them. Now, right now, Bosk, my bearded dragon, she has been brumating. And if you don't know what brumating is, that is kind of like hibernation but for reptiles. And lizards can do this too. So if you have a female bearded dragon especially, she might brumate. Female bearded dragons can also lay clutches of infertile eggs. Bosk is about 3 years old and has never done this yet. But keep an eye out, because if you have a pregnant bearded dragon, or not pregnant, but one who's going to lay eggs, even if they're not fertile, she needs a thick layer of sand to bury her eggs in. Otherwise, she could become egg bound, and that would be an expensive vet visit. So if you have a bearded dragon who's brumating, it's okay. Like right now, Bosk is hiding in her cave and not coming out, and it'll probably be several weeks before she does come out. And so I'm just letting her do her thing, making sure she has fresh water if she wants it, and offering her food every several days. But when she's brumating, her appetite decreases significantly. And so I keep her heating and lighting all the same during this time, so that way on the off chance that she does want to come out for a day, she can. But in general, she doesn't have to. Usually when your bearded dragon is brumating, she'll just stay there and not really do much. And just leave them alone. They're okay. And they'll occasionally need water. You want to get them out, make sure that they're doing okay, give them a bath. And if you have a female, you do want to make sure that she's not going to have eggs. And I'm not an expert on bearded dragons and the reproductive health, but there's a lot of good resources online to see how to know if your bearded dragon is going to have eggs. And if she is, you want to make sure that she's able to have them in real deep sand, and then as soon as they're laid and the whole clutch has been laid, you want to remove those eggs, because they're not fertile and they're not going to hatch, so you don't need to incubate them. You just need to toss them, because otherwise your bearded dragon will think that they're fertile and she'll try to defend them and protect them. So let's talk lastly about your leopard gecko. So Edgar is a couple years old now, and during the springtime, he gets very interested in looking for a lady. But Edgar's not going to find a lady, because there are no female leopard geckos here, and he's not a breeding reptile. He is going to be a pet reptile only. So what does that mean for your bearded dragon? What does that mean for your leopard gecko? I give Edgar a hotter nighttime heat lamp in the winter. I noticed he was sitting on top of his Habba hut a lot recently, and so I gave him a hotter wattage bulb. I was at a 60 watt, now he has a 75 watt for the winter months, and he's been a lot better off with it. He's been moving around a lot more at night instead of just basking. And so Edgar has been really doing well with that. And so if your male leopard gecko is being a lot more active than usual in the winter or springtime, that's because he's looking for a mate. And so what that just means is you really want to make sure they get enough food, because they're burning a lot of energy looking around for a mate. And even though they're not going to find one, keep their heat really good. Like I just mentioned, I actually gave him a hotter light bulb for the winter, and here in about a month or two, so when it's late March, mid-April, I'm going to switch it back to the regular heat lamp for him. And that's about all I have to say on this topic. If you have any other questions or comments, I'd be happy to hear them in the comment section below. And if you have different experiences with pet reptiles, not breeders, because I know this information is not correct for breeders, only for pet reptiles only, I'd be happy to hear it. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you want to like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, stay tuned until I have a new Reptile Sam video uploaded. Remember to like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at reptile.sam. See you guys later.